Okay, it says we are live. You know what? I was gonna um I was gonna do this maybe at 7 or 8, but I came on here. I said, wait a minute, it's people in the comments already. Let me go ahead and do this now. Although it's fight night and things like that, and I'm just gonna kind of play this video and step away. Now, this video I'm going to play, um, um, I posted maybe a year ago, right? But it was so powerful. I said I'm going to do it again, right? What's up, chat? And share because this video shows the continuity between ancient Egypt and modern day Egypt today. They still practiced a lot of the same things, right? They still build um, amazing structures. Let me just read. Hello, are you gonna recap on the fight with? Are you gonna do a recap on the fight with Earl? I had a fun time. I went to the fight. I went to the press conference and I went to the weigh-in. I had a ball in Vegas that time. So the title says the video Afrocentrics don't want you to see. Modern day Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians, right? And let's just get into it. I'm gonna just play about 3 minutes of a song and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Okay? Hold on.
Been in the game for quite some time, writing words and spitting rhymes, twisting up verbs and dropping dope lines. I'm here to take my shit back, motherfucker, gon' give me what's mine. Ow. You wanna do what I do? You gotta do what you do. You wanna talk the way I talk? You gotta talk your talk. You wanna walk the way I walk? Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try. Who's Jack? 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 Do you wanna know? Do you wanna know where's Jack? I can tell you something about Jack. Where you are for real, bitch. Let me show you. Jack. You like the stylish clothes I wear? Hold up, bitch. Don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair, girl. You smell the fragrance of my cologne through the air. A bona fide man. Know what you know about that, Jack? You wanna do what I do? You gotta do what you do. You wanna talk the way I talk? You gotta talk your talk. You wanna walk the way I walk? Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try. Who's Jack? Who's Jack? Who's Jack? Who's Jack? Hold up now, you must think you slick. You talking about that, but that ain't this. You think that you're magic, hocus pocus with all your tricks. Wanna impress me, bitch? Drown a fish. You bitch, you. You wanna do what I do? You You wanna talk the way I talk. You wanna walk the way I walk. Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try.
That's my song right there. Just a little song to build the beat up, and we're just about to get on into this. So it's a video I'm gonna play, and I'm just gonna let it roll. Right? I made it a while back. I just wanna replay it again because I think it's powerful. Right? And let's just get on to it. Let's get on to it. This video was titled, "Will the Real Egyptians Stand Up?" Right? So we're going to show you people dealing with the papyrus plant. No other people are doing this but the modern day Egyptians because their ancestors did it, right? So this is what we're talking about. Let's go.
And turns it into the paper.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind this a tidbit.
Cultivation. Look, they have to have.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get to the beginning. Let's go.
Hey, everyone.
Here we go, family.
So read that. Ancient Egypt and its continuity in the modern population. Cultural similarities and other evidences. Let's go.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. It's Kamal Nasser here once again. I welcome you all, and I know it's been a while. The reason for that is I've been working on quite a huge video. So what I'm presenting today, it's gonna prove beyond a doubt that the modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians, nobody else. And I just want to firstly apologize because this is an unscripted video, and it's unscripted because there's just so much and I wouldn't be able to write down everything I want to say as there's way too many slides. And it's going to be a little different as I'm going to be showing a lot of pictures and I will comment when necessary. I won't be talking all the time. But I do want you all to pay attention to the visual imagery. And essentially I have done about 15 or so main points as to why the Egyptians of today have to be the real ones. As in it has to be them, nobody else. You know, the evidence I'll present, it's basically just the kind of continuity, and it's gonna cover a lot. So I hope you can be patient. And I truly believe any Afrocentric, any Hotep, whoever, if you can sit down right now and just, even like, I don't mind if you just look through all the images or whatever, and you're not really interested in what I have to say, even if you just do that, you'll be convinced for sure the Egyptians today are the ancient Egyptians. They're descendants of that civilization. Okay, with all that being said, let's begin. So, number one, papyrus cultivation and creation. So, nobody else does this anywhere on the continent. You know, Egyptians have been harvesting, cutting, processing the paper reed, cyperus, papyrus for a very, very long time, thousands of years. You know, nobody else does this and turns it into the paper. A young boy bundling it up just like his ancestors used to do, as you can see here. I hope this is clear enough for all of you to see. More Egyptians hard at work.
Hit the like button, y'all.
Again. It's really amazing, to be honest, that after all this time, around the villages in the north, actually, you can still find it.
So Vanilla Scoop, you just drop up in here in 1 minute, you're already talking, saying he's biased. You cannot grab information. Okay? Nobody's modern Egyptians. You care.
And it's of high quality, you know, this whole process, it's authentic ancient Egyptian papyrus making.
And if you didn't hear, you probably came late. Africa. Here's a continent in East. Rewind it.
Egyptians, you know, these are not Europeans, they're indigenous North Africans.
I'm not going to argue with anybody in the chat. I'm going to play this video. But he's proving what he's saying. He's showing you. Literally. It's nothing biased about him. A person can be wrong about a certain...
Look at all of this. They work.
Look at all them papyrus papers. What nappy-head tribe got a log of all this shit and do this shit? Name one.
Really hard, you know? And you guys just insult them. As if any of you are doing really hard, you know? Look at all of this. They work really hard, you know? And you guys just insult them. As if any of you are doing this. Nonsense, man. So it's kind of, I did include some of it in my video, the Low Egyptians in ancient and modern times. There's some of this continuity I showed there, so go and watch it, as I don't want to repeat any images. This guy has an amazing Egyptian phenotype. Crazy. As I said, guys, I won't be talking all the time, and I hope the background music is enough to at least keep you focused and relaxed. Alright, so that's done. We'll be looking at the ancient papyrus. This is the modern papyrus. Now the ancient. And just saying, when I go through this, I'll also be including images of modern Egyptians, just to compare and contrast. Nobody else makes this on the continent. None. Only the modern Egyptians. Many Egyptians were light-skinned. Since the beginning, in pre-dynastic times, especially in Lower Egypt. I mean, especially when you look at the modern Egyptian phenotype, it's not like Arab or anything like that. It just looks Egyptian. Like, as we go through this presentation, you'll see Egyptians have their own unique look. They're not Turks, they're not Persians, they're not French, or all these stupid invasions, whatever you Afrocentrics are always saying. It's wrong. They're Egyptians. These are Lower Egyptians. Even when you look at the facial features, men are darker, women lighter. See that, right? It's an artistic convention I'll talk more about as we progress. Another lighter Egyptian woman. Yeah, and something I've noticed about Egyptian features, no matter what region they're from, this is another boy from Cairo, they have a kind of mulatto appearance due to having some Sub Saharan ancestry and also Western Eurasian. You know, this boy, he's not an invader. Just look at his features, man. That's Egyptian. Even the white ones, they're very pale skinned. They're indigenous. You've seen it for yourself. You've seen it. They were there.
Donnie, well, I know you didn't say look at we've been through it. Systems, papyrus, so pay attention.
Yeah, especially this boy. Doesn't he look kind of mixed, right? Egyptian children. You know, Egyptians, they have no issues with the sun. They tan very well. And especially in the south, they naturally have higher melanin levels. You know, some Afrocentrics, like I see someone made a comment about skin cancer. It's just so ridiculous, man. Ugh. Sometimes I want to slap some of you people. Jeez. The Book of the Dead.
Pause. Look at these beautiful children. Y'all leave these people's culture and history alone. This is their history.
You know that convention, lighter women and dark men.
Pause.
All right, so
Yeah, so they always have the darker tanned Egyptian men and the lighter women. But when you see Nubians and things like that, they don't have a lighter women because they weren't light-skinned people.
you know that convention, lighter women and dark men. All right, so I added
That's my halfbreed. She's a Nubian. I mean, he's a Nubian.
this because I just wanted to clarify something about the Nubians in Egypt, because they lived in proximity to the Egyptians, so it was normal to have a number of them who would come to prominence. So this is Ma'i Herpri, and you can see how the Egyptian boy is depicted different to him. And here, this is what I visualized them to have looked like. I think it's a pretty close match, Nubian and Egyptian. And that's not to say all Nubians were dark, especially later on they started mixing, if you're familiar with some of the content I've shown on my channel.
Later on.
And yeah, you know, if the Egyptians liked you, they would depict you like themselves. So imagine if someone just saw this, right? They would assume that's how the person looked, but inside, that's how Ma'i Herpri was, a black Nubian man. And his final papyrus sheet. Okay, with that being done, we move on to the ancient martial arts, known as Saidi Tahtib.
Pause. Let me pause it. Just like, you know, they have martial arts in there. Now, this is stick fighting martial arts, but when Ashraf Quaid at their clutch stick, I don't know where Africa is no any.
And this martial arts, it goes back thousands of years. It's also known as stick dance or play fighting, stick fighting, etc. So here it is in the ancient time and here in the modern. Really amazing how the tradition has lasted so long. I don't know anyone else outside of Egypt that practices tahtib. You do have like donga stick, but that's actually quite different. Yeah, this guy here is Ashraf Hamada, and he's working to preserve this ancient art. And this is Rania Medat, the first female Tatib instructor. See how modern Egyptians really care to preserve all of their ancient heritage. They also do have the variety on horseback, too. And this one especially, no one else on the continent does it.
no one else on the continent does this. Hey Donnie, in 2022, there's blacks. So like you see, like 15 of these men.
See, the exact same thing, guys. Exact same thing. They're still doing it. It's practiced in Lower Egypt as well, but I think it's more of an Upper Egyptian thing. But I have seen a lot in the north do it too. Look at their skin, man. These guys have no issues with the sun at all. Actually, like if we, especially us tropical Africans, like Western and Central Africans, like if we go to this kind of climate, it's not good for us because we're largely forest people. Some more depictions of it. Like the clash. Once again.
You see, these are melanated peoples right here. And when you see that red ochre on wall and the melanated ancient Egyptians, this is all you're looking at. Dark-skinned people. They use what they have around them, earth, to draw. Red ochre is part of the earth. They suit and say, Black Americans in Egypt.
Okay, that ends that section. Next up, 3. Pottery, alabaster.
I pause this for a second. So you can see the difference between a European woman and an Egyptian man. Right? The Egyptian man is melanated. I don't call Egyptians or North Africans or Berbers or Arabs white people. I would call the lady on the left a white person.
And stele manufacturing. So this essentially shows the creativity that still goes on in modern Egyptians today. And this in particular, the alabaster factories, it's really largely a southern Egyptian enterprise. Look at the difference, man. This European lady and this Saidi man.
Right. So, but in Caucasian, they call
you Afrocentrics really make me laugh with your stupidity. Anyway, I'll try to keep it cool.
Vanilla Scoop, you're about to be between. You're in, okay? Get over it, nigga. Egyptians.
It's quite amazing. It starts just as a...
This is an old video, so I'm fast forwarding some of the commentary and me talking shit. So I'm just trying to fast forward it.
A mineral stone, and they carve it into so many intricate objects, sculptures, and more.
I told you, the entire shit made in very fucking day to you. It's easy.
Alabaster factory in Luxor. This man in particular, he has quite a few videos on YouTube that you can check out as well. you know, where they do thousands of this stuff. It's everywhere. Look at that. Beautiful. I think this is Nefertiti and the sun disk god Aten. But I do have to brush up on my Egyptian
Paul, so the point is they still make this stuff.
history and mythology. Still though, really amazing. Doing stuff like this is like nothing to them. They've been practicing for thousands of years. This is the final alabaster product from that rock. Even glow in the dark. Egyptians are really innovative people. Amazing. Oh, Nama palette. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I seen Vanilla Scoop in my little enemies. I just he out right.
More stele. Hasn't ancient Egypt just come to life? Can't you see it?
I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I gotta run to my car. I don't be talking about. I
Really like the Saidis because you know their skin is very dark, but they don't look like us, you know, black Africans. They have a lot of melanin. Beautiful. You know, these men work so hard, and you AfroCentrics, you just claim their history without putting any damn work in. Look at this, man. Can you guys even carve anything like this? We do steal their history without putting any.
Pause. By the way, just for whoever's listening, the guy who made this video is from Tanzania. He's not a black American. He's from Tanzania.
Working. Pathetic.
He knows his Tanzanian brothers and sisters don't do this cultural continuity type of work. So, I mean, you know, he's an East African who made this video. Very dark skinned, black East African. So he don't want to steal the Egyptians' culture. So he's showing you they're not doing this in East Africa.
Look at all these products, amazing. Thousands, man, thousands. And they do it daily.
See, just I can't be that real black.
Souvenir shops. Amazing. Look at him. Skin tone very dark. Same with this boy. These are the red people, the orange people that you see on the walls. This is symbolism. Yeah, this is the Morsi alabaster shop. They're not afraid of their dark skin. That's how they are. These are West Bank people from Ghana. These are ancient
Them things, they call them shopties, I think. He'll say it, but I think they call these things shopties. These little tiny figurines and shit. Jonathan Owens, he just.
Shabtis. And you saw already that they still make things like this.
Who in Sub Saharan Africa or even East Africa is making shopties and carrying on the tradition? Nobody.
Just like their ancestors. But you Afrocentrics, you don't do anything. You just claim, claim, steal, steal. It's ridiculous. Here's the papyrus. Remember, we already covered the papyrus. I can't go back as it's pretty far.
Pause. Who in Sub Saharan Africa or East Africa is still dealing with papyrus and making papyrus? Nobody.
With all the slides I have, but you get the idea. More Shabtis. You'll never find these Ushabti anywhere else.
Caucasian, white. You get that through your thick skull.
They're not white. They're not black either. They're Egyptian. They have so much, even the wooden sculptures they do. They do everything, just like their ancestors. But you Afrocentrics, you do nothing. You just talk crap online.
Yeah, in fact, you said he did an amazing job with this. It took him a long time. So, I'm grateful for him putting in this work to explain this, the brother from Tanzania. Because he sees these people all the time. Want to hear?
More Saidis, hard at work. I call them Thebians as well, the inhabitants of Thebes. Yeah, these shops are everywhere. King Tut. Yeah, guys, as I said, I really don't mind if you just scroll through and see the pictures, as I think everything in general just speaks for itself. I don't need to comment too much.
Cool. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
This is just so perfect, man. That's an ancient Egyptian.
Oh, it's in the description. It's in the description.
More alabaster. Alabaster.
Pause. So you see this artwork, right? And you see the ankhs on the lower part of the video, right? When I went to Ghana on my 50th birthday, I went to 5 different museums in Ghana. Not one museum in Ghana has one piece of Egyptian art. It is no Egyptian art in the museums in Ghana. Nothing related to ancient Egypt is in the museums in Ghana. Why? It's not something they participated in. It's not their culture. It's not our culture. We have no cultural continuity to any of this stuff. Modern day Egyptians has cultural continuity with this stuff, and they still make it today.
This presentation. It was tiring, but I think it's worth it. I'm sure you get the point by now. Yeah, this guy's really good. That's amazing. And the thing with Saidis, they have a really unique look. They don't look like Horners at all. And people are always saying the ancient Egyptians were Kushites, which is completely.
Let me pause. Let me just clear up some stuff at time. So
Ancient Egyptians were Kushites, which is completely at all. And people are always saying the ancient. And the thing with Saidis, they have a really unique look. They don't look like Horners at all.
Pause. He said they don't look like Horners. East Africans, Eritrea, Ethiopians, you know what I mean, Somalians. They don't look like that. Okay? They're different.
And people are always saying the ancient Egyptians were Kushites, which is completely.
let me loop. It doesn't. So I'll loop.
They have a distinct look. Some do use machines as well, rather than the traditional method. You know, this used to just look like that stone block. Phenomenal, man. And this ends this section. All right, so next is the architecture, sculpture, and construction. This is the Supreme Court, designed by a native Egyptian named Ahmed Mito. Look at that. Amazing. Look at that. And just to pair off with the modern architecture, just included some of the old, to give an idea just how inspired they are.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Man, cool. As soon as you said that, and it's asked to the presentation. Be careful.
Coming ones, anywhere. And the rest of the continent. Coming. You don't see buildings like this or the upcoming ones anywhere in the rest of the continent. Because people know, in general, Egypt isn't us. It's not our history. It's theirs. It's all theirs. Doesn't this give you an eye into what it was like in ancient Egypt? And all these things, the buildings. This is how the pyramids were built. Took a long time, but it was a human effort. It wasn't aliens. It wasn't electromagnetism, all those crazy theories. It was done by skilled stonemasons.
He said skilled stone masons. My granddaddy's daddy is a what sometimes I like to say operative mason. He was a bricklayer, right, as well as worked for Northrop Aerospace Industry. But he did a lot of bricklaying and did a lot of bricks through Compton and Carson and all over L.A. And my granddaddy was legendary for his masonry work, just legendary.
They had a lot of complex technology that they used. These guys here are Lower Egyptians, by the way. I was showing a lot of CITES before, just because these structures are in the south, so it's only right to show them, as that's their part. But yeah, these are Lower Egyptians. Giza. Even with Egyptians in the north, they get enough sun exposure and they're good to go. Northern Egyptian next to a black woman. Hardly a difference. And Egyptians are still building large structures and buildings based on what their ancestors did.
Wait. They actually doing construction on this pyramid on the left?
Based on what their ancestors did. More northern Egyptians. Look how dark they are, man. Wow. These are sightings, of course. This is Abu Hagag Mosque. I mentioned it before, a mix of a mosque and an old Egyptian temple. So it kind of synthesizes the two religions, or spirituality. It's the temple and the mosque built into one thing. I really want you to pay attention to how all of the structures translates to the modern era in their own buildings.
What I don't know is if he took these pictures himself, because there's some different type of pictures here. You know what I mean? Like he visited and took pictures and stuff himself, or he just downloaded some pictures. But he really put together a good presentation. Correct, Egyptologist.
Bro. This is some amazing modern structure built. I mean, like this is this is some classic shit right here we're looking at. So it's just amazing. It's called cultural continuity.
I also do include just some phenotypes of people on the side, depending on the region of where the building is. And also it keeps it interesting, instead of just showing one thing. Yeah, some Saudis can get almost blackish, but they don't identify as that. They just identify as Egyptian or Saudi Arab. People need to stop forcing them into the black and white paradigm.
They're not black nor white. That is a fact. Okay? So a lot of these cats is darker than me. A lot of these cats is darker than, you know what I mean, a third of the black American population. So because you're dark doesn't necessarily mean you would be considered a black man. So that's what I'm saying. People, you need to stop tripping on this skin color thing. I've never talked about that. I'm more so talking about population genetics. Okay? That's what I'm be talking about. Because people, whether you're in Cambodia or Samoa, your skin tone tint varies between people. This should be common sense. So when people are making this dark people argument, no, stop listening to them. They're trying to muddy the waters.
Yeah, what he said. He said people need to stop forcing them into a black and white paradigm. They're
These are northern Egyptians, and this is a Saudi man. Yep, these are men from Luxor. Pay attention to them versus the white people. They have no sun issues, guys. It's time you Afrocentrics leave the modern Egyptians alone. You have nothing to do with it. It's their history, their civilization, their heritage. Giza boys. There's so many buildings like this around the country. especially with the pillars and overall structure. Now look at this. Where else do you find you don't find a continuity like this at all in Sub-Saharan Africa. You don't. And the modern Egyptians have translated it so well. How their ancestors used to depict the scenes of life on the walls. You know. Beautiful. You know, they haven't forgotten where they've come from.
Bro. Cultural continuity. Show me a sub-Saharan African building something that they felt in their heart and soul was of their ancestors. Show me this tribe, please. Show me an East African repping and building something like this. You can't. Because the actual people who actually live there know that the ancient Egyptians wasn't their ancestors. It's just you black Americans who's confused and have an identity crisis and who steals everybody's shit. So I just asked this question. Show me, this is a challenge. Show me a sub-Saharan African group, tribe, nation, East African tribe, nation, who would construct something like this. If that had anything to do with their ancestors. Okay, carry on.
Look at all the Egyptian symbolism, the motifs. You know, Egyptians are very proud and patriotic people. They love their country, they love their heritage. This is probably my favorite. Present age, modern age, Islamic age, Pharaonic age. They love their heritage. They are so proud of it. Can you Afrocentric haters ever do anything like this? You don't show this level of continuity. You just don't.
He said you don't show this level of continuity. You just don't. If you're really looking at what it says Pharaonic age, Islamic age, modern age, and present age. Are you reading this? This is their cultural continuity. Who's doing that in East and Sub-Saharan Africa?
Even more buildings, you know, there was so many. But I got tired of searching and I just selected some of the most interesting to me. Look at that. Ancient Egyptian. As I was saying, I did include pictures of people on the site, so you can gauge the phenotype as well. This isn't an Arab, this isn't a Greek, This isn't a Persian, this is an Egyptian. Lower Egypt. Even Lower Egyptians, they're slightly lighter, but you can still see the Egyptian phenotype on them. They even do sphinxes.
By the way, let me just clear because a lot of my a lot of my black friends be tripping on me because I made a point just some years ago. I'm no longer preaching to the choir about how bad whites treat us. So sometimes people just take me out of context, right? So I made a point that I'm focusing on my people, right, and their education or clarification, right? So sometimes I just make hard stances and I make hard points where it may seem harsh, to my people coming from me. You know what I mean? But I be trying to touch and hit that soul and make you feel it, right? So I love my people, but I just want to let you know, you need to bring your ass back to Western Central Africa and get up out of North Africa claiming them people's stuff or them Egyptian people's stuff and trying to steal their history. So I like to make hard stances, and sometimes it may come off as, "Damn, Chief tripping." No, I ain't tripping. I'm trying to make a hard point. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Yeah, feel free to pause at any time if you want to look at something in more depth. I'm kind of going to speed it up a bit because I don't want to lose your guys' attention. This one's really nice, how they incorporated the pyramid into the structure. Phenomenal. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Hatshepsut's temple. This is the Maiden Pyramid in Lower Egypt. There are a lot of pyramids in Egypt that people are just not aware of, too. You can see the sharp, angular style that's been incorporated as well. This is Tomb of Seti I at Abydos. See how the pillars are laid out, right?
Again, for the 20th time, this is called cultural continuity.
This looks so much like the tombs and structures found in Saqqara. This is the Imhotep Museum.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Is there an Imhotep museum anywhere in East Africa or Sub Saharan Africa? Since a lot of people have been claiming that people just disappeared and or migrated to Western Central Africa and took off and fled because there was invaders and all that stuff. People just dispersed, and so people, think that the ancient Egyptians is not there no more. I mean, like I don't know where they get this wild idea. The ancient Egyptians ain't told you in no writing, right, that they dispersed and disappeared or migrated the fuck away from ancient Egypt. Who told you that? It's like in more modern times, right? You can talk about West and Central Africa and even South Africa. How the entire, basically, sub-Saharan African continent was colonized, divvied up and chopped up and split up and conquered, and different invaders, of European invaders, sometimes the Arab invaders. But guess what? All them sub-Saharan African people are still there. All them West African people are still there. After Ghana was run by the British and they conquered and colonized it, all them black folk, the indigenous people, are still there deep, 99% of the people. What would be the difference in Egypt, right? There's no difference. People just lied and wanted you to think that they just dispersed or went to West Africa. Wild tales. You know what I mean? This is a little. I've been sipping a little whiskey for the last hour, so I may be a little talkative. Let me just play this video and stop.
Hatshepsut's mortuary complex. Children from Luxor. There's some of them.
So let me pause. So you see the game with Idris out melanated?
Police officer. He doesn't look black.
Now, mind you, just for people who wanna, try to hang on to something, the guy on the ref and his hair is a lot of North Africans have curly hair. Now, this obviously is a modern day Egyptian who's very melanated. So the records and the science has already taught us and tells us that modern day Egyptians have more sub Saharan DNA than the ancient Egyptians. Just in a nutshell, right? So that happened with, trade and the Arab slave trade and all kind of different stuff. So people down by Aswan on the border, people inching up, and over time things seep in, right? So sometimes they may have a look that some black American may think, okay, look. But see, people will look at the guy on the right and act like he has an afro, which he doesn't. It's just a lower cut, loose curly hair. It's not a kinky, nappy hair. You get what I'm saying?
Sorry, he's a Saidi. More Saidis. Yeah, they really look South Asian. My goodness. Dravidian, in particular. And more children. See how that architecture has translated? Yeah. Here. This place in particular, it's dedicated to the legendary Egyptian sculptor Mahmud Mokhtar.
Hold on. Hold on. I just have to highlight this comment. I'm trying to follow. I be just in my own world, plus trying to follow the video, so I'm not always constantly reading the chat. But I glance at the chat, right? What is this comment from this lady? Hold on. Oops. Hold on, y'all. I'm on the wrong damn thing. Okay, now I go. Here I am. Where's this comment at? Right here. I just like the way she worded that shit. So I'm not sure who she's going back and forth with because I have been following or whatever, or I don't even know if American Lady has said something crazy previously. So it's just let me. I'm just always let me remain unbiased. I'll read through the chats and see what I missed. I don't know, but I just like this comment right here. But I think American Lady may have ticked somebody off up in here. A few people maybe. I gotta figure it out. What's up, Smash? Come on and join the party. All right, let me get back to the video. Now, where were we? Wait a minute. I just love that beat. Let me get back to business. All right, where were we? Where were we? Where were we? Where were we? Okay, here we go. Let's go.
You can really see how he was inspired by what came before him. It speaks for itself, really. You know, it's the same blocky Egyptian style of sculpture, carved from a single stone. Looks just like the wall reliefs that we see.
Again, I got to keep reminding you, this is for the 21st time. This is what you call cultural continuity.
Exactly like how the ancient Egyptians used to show themselves. A perfect modern interpretation of that. Very talented man. Yeah, this is probably his most well-known one. A single granite slab. And here's another one, Gamal El Sagini. Not as well known as Mahmud Mokhtar, but still a very talented sculptor in his own right. You can see the ancient Egyptian motifs. It's pretty self-evident how he was inspired by his ancestors. Doesn't this ceramic reminds you of how the Egyptians depicted the Nubians, the Libyans, which we'll see towards the end. This is a Nubian boy for Mason. And okay, I included this as well because it's showing that the modern Egyptians are still continuing building colossal structures, not just in their lands, but others as well. So this is the Rufiji hydropower project that's being built by Egyptians in my country. So it's a really massive dam project. There's a number of them. And that's going to supply all of my people, you know. And this is why, like, when you Afrocentrics insult modern Egyptians, it really pisses me off because they're doing so much investment in Sub Saharan Africa. You can look into the other places.
Now, he's saying this because he is a Tanzanian, a Kenyan, and he lives there on the continent. He's an East African. So he's familiar with the works and what's helping them or what have you. Okay? So let this man tell his story and show you what he sees and is into.
They're doing it as well. And you really have to ask yourself, why is it the modern Egyptians are building these colossal structures in our lands and not the other way around if we're the real Egyptians? It doesn't make any sense. All you guys do is steal their history and insult them. It's disgusting. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm really sick of it. Here they are, modern Egyptians and Tanzanians. Egyptians are really skilled in building these massive structures. The pyramids, the Sphinx, those temples that you saw. Man, we just have to accept it, you know? Stop being so deluded. That's the reality. And I definitely want better relations between North Africans and Sub-Saharans. We share a continent. We should respect their history. Look at this. This is now in Egypt. As I said, they're still building. Look at it, magnificent. The Egyptian style architecture, it's found in so many places. This is the new Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's just so amazing how the ancient style comes into the modern, and they merge together so nicely.
Cultural continuity. Let me divvy back a few seconds on this video. Hold on.
This is the new Ministry of
Bam, see my little mini I had a brain fart. These little mini obelisks. What do they call these other cultural continuity? Right? Like I don't see anybody in East Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa continuing on this and building this on their structures. I just don't see it. If this was supposedly somehow related to their ancestors. No, modern day Egyptians is doing this. Because it's cultural continuity. Let's go.
Affairs. It's just so amazing how the ancient style comes into the modern, and they merge together so nicely. All right, I just want to take a quick tangent to just debunks firstly the black Hebrews, they have a lot of these crazy ideas about leprosy and all that. Black people are not the only ones that suffer from vitiligo. Especially North Africans, they have melanin-rich skin, so they're also afflicted with it, unfortunately. And it just shows,
Gamil, this cat who put together this video, this presentation, is great. And he's just an amateur, but just the way he put this whole thing together is amazing. You know what I mean? Come on, if you, I know we used to be cool, and I know you've commented on my videos, Gamir Nassau. I don't know your real name, what have you, but bro, come back to YouTube, bro. Please, I know you must be peeping in, and you're probably gonna see this video, whether it's tonight or the next week or even next month. Bro, come back to YouTube and holler at me, bro. This is just, I got to give you your props. This, if I'm replaying something that I've already posted, I was impressed with it. So this is probably maybe out of maybe 5 videos I've ever replayed again later. Let's go.
they're a brown people. They're not European invaders or whatever cannot you guys try to pull. Okay, back to the main topic of architecture. And they erected the obelisks in a number of places. And it looks so good next to the contemporary styles. Inside the station, you can see it, man. Ancient Egypt. It's everywhere. This is a hotel gallery, I believe. Now you understand how they built all these massive things, these massive statues. I do hope though that they can improve the general cleanliness. Because if you're going there as a tourist, you obviously want to see everything, but it sucks that there's a lot of poverty in Egypt. That's another reason that angers me, because there's so many poor people and AfroCentrics are just insulting them. Man, they're trying to take their history, which is like all they have. And what they're known for, and you're trying to take that from them. Man, some of you guys can go to hell, honestly. You really piss me off. The modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. Upper Egyptians. It's a lie that Egyptians don't care about their heritage. These are the colossi of Menmon.
Hey, Smash, you see how people in my chat may challenge you intellectually or disagree with you, but we don't be doing all the insulted and childish stuff on my channel. See, my clique and my people know how to, behave. Y'all of that allow y'all chat to go insulting people and going crazy. And I mean, we brothers, man. Niggas get to talking that gay shit. You don't even check nobody, bro. I don't. I mean, like if somebody was trying to just like insult you, I try to keep my shit mature over here. So I mean, like I don't know what y'all be going through over there. Y'all just allow anything in your chats. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's mind games. I guess I don't know. I'm 53. I don't know.
Massive, massive structures, guys. Massive. You won't find this in Somalia. You won't find this in my part. You won't find this like anywhere, man. Anywhere else. Only maybe like Sudan by proxy. But even there, it's a bit different.
My bad. I haven't really been reading the chat, but if somebody's going back and forth, I'm okay with it. So I mean, I'm okay with eye for eye type stuff. So, but I'm concentrating on three different things. So I may not be catching up on what y'all tripping on in the chat.
Massive structure.
Oh, so the AfroCentrics didn't come back and show you these photos, huh? Oh, okay.
You know, they're still building it. These colossal statues. Such talent. The Egyptians never went anywhere. They've always been there. This is Lower Egypt. These are Lower Egyptians. Although I do show a lot of Saites, that's just because that's where some of the architecture is. But there's a lot of structures in the north as well. Both Lower and Upper Egyptians are 100% Egyptian. I always say it. Okay. Number 5, contemporary Egyptian art and illustration. So this is Ala Awad. I really like his style because it's the perfect translation of what's found in Egyptian wall reliefs. And he's a Luxor-based artist from the south. It's really cool if you see the interview by him and he tells his story, how he was blown away by what his ancestors did, and how he wanted to preserve that. So we'll just be showing some of the work he's done. It's honestly amazing.
Isn't it ironic that we get this good content from an East African, a brother from Tanzania, who's been up and down, the geography, and is familiar literally with these people, right? It's just like it's refreshing. I just wanted to throw that out there, right? So he's able to keep it real, as I would consider. I mean, an intellectual or a person who's just into scholarly things. Whether somebody's a scholar or not. Like I'm far from a scholar, but I'm just into scholarly things, and I would consider myself intellectual, although I don't have a degree in anything. But just a brother like this, just to put this together, from being from East Africa, instead of just listening to a Black American rant about some nonsense and some fake history.
I mean, look at how dark he is. This all Luxor people. Man, Egyptians never went anywhere, guys. Get over it, you dumb hoteps. Get over it. And it's not just copying from the ancient Egyptians, but it's a continuation. He's a descendant. Yeah, his murals can be found in quite a number of places, even abroad too. They commissioned him to do some work in the US, Amsterdam, and other places. These are the ones in Egypt. I think this is based on the war with the Sea Peoples.
Cultural continuity.
He is so good, man. Tatib. Remember this from the Bull Palace.
5th Cycle. I don't know how you pronounce your name. He commented, you see how they have lightened up the pictures he's showing. Well, if you've been paying attention, you didn't say nothing earlier throughout other hours of different other kind of pictures. But somehow you focus on this one. But just so you understand is this is a modern day Egyptian drawing and doing artwork in 2 days time. So he has more colors and variety in his artwork today. So he's drawing his people who are modern day Egyptians in skin tone and tint. You see, he has people who are of blue complexion, right? You didn't mention that, but you just worried about the black white issue. I get it. It's okay. So he's representing in modern day times a different type of artwork. And showing is the point. Cultural continuity. Okay. Now, I see you made a comment I was not here earlier. That's why people should always rewind the video, start at the beginning, screw the chat, because when you into the chat, then you may be into some drama. You know, what I mean, you might not be into the video. But anyway, that's what I would want. I would want to see. I would want to read a book from the beginning instead of the middle. That's just me personally. But if you, it's fine. Hang along with the chat and whatever, you know. But I'm just saying, he's just displaying what's in his surroundings in today's modern time with more resources and colors and different type of art. Like, I think ancient Egyptians used to have like what, I don't know if they say 5 different colors, and red ochre was one of them. You know what I mean? So they just had different things at their disposal. We have more things at our disposal today.
Oh man, it's just so sick. Some of his sketches. Procession. that's done with Alawad for now. There's more of his stuff coming up. Next up is work done by Sayed Saad Eldin. He's also another well-known and renowned fine artist in Egypt. Egyptians have always been fascinated by depicting their lifestyles and culture from ancient times till today. And there he is, Sayed Saad Eldin. Next is Ahmad Ibrahim. I really like how he shows the daily life in Egypt, all the colors he uses, and more things. And lastly, Reda Abdel Rahman. Okay, back to Ala Awad, some of his work. The process and just to break it a bit, some people from Luxor, boatmen, and this is a bridge art done by Sayed Saad Eldin from before. Okay, so with that section finished, now holidays and celebratory festivals. The two main ones are Mulid el Hagag. It's basically the modern Opet festival. Like, a lot of the Opet traditions are still found there, even though it's about an Islamic state. The imagery, as noted by many Egyptologists, is strongly connected to what we see in the Opet procession. And Sham and Azim, or the Shamu festival, the season of the harvest. Okay, this is the Opet. See the boats being used. It was to celebrate the flooding of the Nile. This is one recorded in 1925. There's a great video about continuity in modern Egypt that I'll surely link in the description. And the modern era. They use a lot of incense, just like how the ancients used it. The boat, as we saw before. It's a very long procession. Lots of activities and festivities. Yeah, the El Hagag is celebrated in Luxor, South Egypt. That's why you notice everyone's really dark. Even in the ancient times, it was mostly just Luxor, the Opet. Well, no, it was more actually, it came from there. And to this day, they're still doing it. They've kept all those aspects and incorporated it into the Islamic festival for Abu Hagag, the saint. And you saw how they did that with the Sphinx Avenue.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's have a moment here. Any East African or Sub Saharan African tribes or people or nations doing this cultural continuity right now? And if not, why not? Maybe they know it's not their ancestors. I don't know what Black Americans is talking about. But the people actually on the continent called Africa, they all know their place. I don't know what's wrong with African Americans. Let's go.
This happened just last year. You can check out the videos online as well. No, they really respect their history. These are all the...
These are, like he says, people who respect their history. They're celebrating their history. They're celebrating their ancestors. And this is called being patriotic. Back off, AfroCentrics. If you want to study their culture...
pharaohs and mummies being transported in these cars to the new museum. So amazing, man, how they're treating their ancestors. I mean, that's just man. The modern Egyptians once again are the ancient Egyptians. Okay, Sham and Azim, Shamu Festival. It's celebrating the harvest season.
Oh, so no black folks celebrated the harvest season. Oh, they didn't do this festival? What happened to the African Americans practicing their ancestors' festival? Oh.
And the foods they eat, like the fish, it's left out for a while, just like how it was in ancient Egypt. And apparently it smells pretty foul. But it's all traditions don't die. Yeah, here it is. The ancient Shamu. This is the fish. Feshik. Very smelly fish. That's what I've been told by Egyptians, so maybe one day when I visit I can try this. And they eat the eggs as well. Nobody else celebrates Shamu, and nobody else celebrates the Opet.
I wonder why nobody else celebrates it. I wonder why.
Shemut celebrates Shamu, and nobody else celebrates the Opet. Shamu and Opet. These are just purely Egyptian holidays and festivals. No one has this continuity outside of Egypt.
Tell them again.
No holidays and festivals. No one has this continuity outside of Egypt. All right, that's done. Now the big one, language. Sahidic and Boharic Coptic. So anyone who's
This is only halfway. Listen.
knows the Coptic dialects are the direct descendants, not Cushitic, not Berber, not Semitic. The Egyptian language has full continuity with the Coptic one. And the language stopped being used around the 17th to 18th century due to people switching to Arabic, as that was the language for business, religion, and all other things. You know, never forget, it took Egypt 800 years to become Islamic majority. You know, we Muslims, we've never once forced Christians to convert to our religion. You know, 800 years, people were converting willingly. And I personally, I have no issues against Christians. You know, they're our brothers and sisters. And I hope the Copts, whatever they're going through in Egypt, it can just be resolved, and they can live well with the Muslims there. Inshallah, you know, we'll have peace. They will have peace. I do think it's improved a lot though with what's his name? Al-Sisi. How could I forget the Egyptian president? Yeah. I think it's much better with Al-Sisi. Okay. Just look at their phenotypes, man. Copts are not Greeks. That's just AfroCentric stupidity. They're Egyptians. And there's no difference between Copts and Egyptian Muslims. Genetically the same. It's been proven. More Copts. Just look at the features, man. Look at that. You can see the Sub Saharan admix. I'm not claiming them as black. They're Egyptian and North African people. Just genetically, they carry Sub-Saharan ancestry. That's all I'm saying. More Copts. She passed away sadly. Well-known football player, but I can't remember his name. Coptic monks. Yeah, the phenotypes are really diverse.
Now that's a black man right there. I'll tell you that. The modern ethnic. He's a
quote-unquote Hamitic look within Copts, but you do as well have some others who are Semitic, because we do know about the Hyksos migration, which I'll cover as well soon. Just to be clear, Hamitic does not mean Horn of African. Berbers and Egyptians are also Hamitic. Okay, so yeah, here's the language. Archaic Egyptian first, then Old Egyptian, Middle Egyptian, Late Egyptian, Demotic Egyptian, and the two Coptic dialects, Sahidic and Boharic. That's the tree. Not any other unrelated Afro-Asiatic languages. A lot of people love saying it's Bantu is ancient Egyptian, Hausa, Sheikh Anta Diop with his language, Wolof. Somalis are guilty of this as well. No, you're all wrong. You stop misleading people. Coptic comes directly from Egyptian. This is the family. And here are Coptic monks from Jerusalem. I thought these were cops at first, that's why it's here in the slide. But yeah, they're just some Muslim Giza, Falahin. But yeah, there's no difference between Copts and Muslims. And none of these people look like invaders at all. They're Egyptians. Egyptians have a unique Egyptian phenotype, all of them. More Copts. No, Afrocentrics laugh when Egyptians dress like other ancestors did, but they really look good when they do it. You'll see more that I included. This is how the ancients looked. The Easter festival, I believe. Christians do this on Easter with the reeds. They even just look at the mouth area here. Kind of prognathic, right?
So this is loose curly hair. This is okay with black.
All right. And yeah, the Copts have a Coptic calendar, also known as the Alexandrian calendar, and it's based on the ancient Egyptian one. And even the Muslims follow it, the Muslim farmers, because the times and seasons, the flooding of the Nile, the seasonal harvest, all things like that, it's exactly the same. So all of them still use the ancient Egyptian calendar, which is now the Coptic calendar. So that's even more continuity. All right, that ends that section. So remember in my previous video, I covered aspects of farming and
Oh, wait a minute. Don't go nowhere. It's about to get good. Don't go nowhere.
agricultural techniques. So this is just small pictures I found. If you've seen my video,
Johnny Williams, he's not a language guy. He's not a linguist. He don't know nothing about metanetter. He's just showing this. Just take it.
on Lower Egyptians, you're familiar with some of this already. Now, wheat is the staple, wheat and bread, the staple in ancient Egypt. And they're still farming their wheat.
Wait a minute. Are they farming wheat in Sub Saharan? I don't know.
Here's the papyrus of wheat showing wheat harvest. Yes, many Egyptians were white.
There's again this is the 23rd time I'm saying it now. They're showing cultural continuity.
I'm telling you, it's about to get good. Don't go nowhere. Pseudo's about to start crying.
And tanned men, tanned brown men. Exactly like that, being bent over, harvesting their crops.
Wait a minute. Paper coming on. I keep telling right side people that hold on. Stop arguing. You know, you've been around mentally. I want to say information. All they got all the
because of this. See that? This is what that skin color is. This is a North Cairo farmer in Lower Egypt. Look how dark he is. Exactly like his ancestor. So just because you see brown people on those walls, that doesn't mean it's you, because it's not you. It's the modern Egyptians. I even used the ink dropper to get the tones. In fact, the modern one is even darker. You know, whatever they depicted there. Low. You know, it's pretty much game over for you, Afrocentrics. Just get over it. The modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. So much continuity, man.
The modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. We keep telling y'all crazy ass.
You know, and I'm really frustrated and tired because I've seen all of this and you guys still want to argue. They're melanated people.
Corey said they do love the color game, and I keep more so in
More agricultural scenes. This is all from the north, by the way, North Cairo farmers, Felahin. Because they're always working outside.
If you're always working outside, and especially back in ancient times, you know what I mean? We got air conditioning today. So if you're always working outside, especially back in them times, you're going to be melanated if your climate is considered arid desert. Sub Saharan Africans up in the Congo, West and Central Africa, we're tropical Africans. They're desert arid Africans. So, of course, they're going to be melanated.
Oranges, pomegranates. Yeah, he's an Upper Egyptian. Farming family. Farmer from Luxor. This is from Minya. Once again, Luxor. Yeah, you'll see how the donkeys are in the ancient depictions. Yeah, I'm getting a bit a bit tired, so I might just keep silent for a while and just show you the slides. As everything just speaks for itself, you know. This is a tiresome topic, guys. Just get over it, man, please. The modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. Donkeys are everywhere and utilized in the agricultural practices.
So I've never seen Sub Saharan Africans utilize for. So I've never seen Sub Saharan Africans utilize donkeys for the agricultural work.
Okay, with that out the way, traditional diet, al-shamsi bread. So this bread,
Donnie, not today. Egypt.
Wait a minute. Did I accidentally hit something wrong? I think I screwed up, y'all.
Little shit they was into also. Great shit. What science?
essentially.
What do you call that?
Bread is the staple eaten for. Okay, with that out the way, traditional diet, al-shamsi bread.
So as you notice, he's numbering them. This is number 9. He's just showing the cultural continuity. So I guess he got this one titled Traditional Diet. And I don't know how to pronounce the Arabic word.
So this bread has been eaten for so damn long. It's the ancient Egyptian bread, essentially. Bread is the staple. It's eaten by everyone every single day. It's mass manufactured, but as well traditionally baked, like how the ancients used to. They're still making it. Ancient depictions of the bread. See, it's on the plate, and then once you warm it up, it expands. Here it's already expanded. And yeah, here they are baking it, putting it into the furnace, rolling it. Here's the wheat. Whoops. Yeah, that's the traditional.
Wait a minute.
Here's the wheat.
What'd he say? He said, here's the wheat, and he put the circle on it. Look.
Rolling it. Here's the wheat. Whoops. Yeah, that's the traditional oven. More modern. See the triangle shape, right? Yeah, I mean,
See, an AfroCentric can't even tell you what kind of bread this is. Oh my God.
everything. I'm sure you can hear from my voice I'm so worn out, but I think it was ultimately worth it to gather all these pictures and make this presentation. I truly believe this will deconvert even the most hardcore Afrocentric assholes. Excuse my language.
Now, mind you, for anybody who came late, the guy who's put in about the culture and the way.
Okay. And yeah, this is the last one. Yeah. All right.
Wait a minute. Them same stone ovens. Hold on, let me get a pause. Them same stone ovens.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next, number 10, burial tombs. also known as little houses. So essentially, Egyptians have entire cities of houses where they put bodies. Especially the more you can afford, the better the tomb is. The main known ones are the...
We got another late bird. Because just
This is the one in Minya. You see they put the bodies inside here. And there's so many of these, it's almost endless. This is the tombs. These are essentially tombs. Like most people around the world, they bury their dead just underground. And there is some of that in Egypt as well. But all these houses here, these aren't people living in here, it's for corpses, for bodies.
See, no Afrocentric ever told me how homes, but they're tombs and for dead people and shit. This is like really, like what he's saying basically is this is an necropolis.
In the afterlife. And it's much easier for families to visit and sit around and all that. Yeah, it's honestly crazy. There's many, and it goes for so far. The one in Cairo is actually considered a UNHCR heritage site because it's so distinct and unique.
Did you hear what Egypt Times and that? Then you can.
Yeah, this is a family burial from 1930s. And basically whole families are laid in these kind of structures. And this one is, in particular, it's a neo-pharaonic style. Just like the ancients. Who else does this? Nobody. Only the modern Egyptians. Unfortunately, I was reading with the government, some of them have been demolished, and it's a heritage site, so that kind of sucks because it's they wanted to put like a highway through here, but I'll have to read up more on what kind of situation it is in now. But anyway, yes, these are the houses where you'd have people buried in. And this is Tuna El Gabal. This was done by the ancient Egyptians, so I'm sure it's obvious. You can see this tomb exactly like what we've been seeing, the modern Egyptians, what they've been continuing to do. Speaks for itself, honestly. All right, now the big one, another big one, the genetics. The autosomal, the Y-DNA, and the mtDNA. So we're going to start with the Y-DNA. The Y-DNA really just finishes this entire argument. Afrocentrics never, ever want to debate me on the Y chromosome. They don't want to debate me on genetics in general because it debunks all their nonsense. Northern Egypt is mostly E1B1B, so and in the south it's majority. So it debunks the idea that they're just descendants of invaders. Unless you believe it was foreign women who came to invade Egypt, but no, it's not. So EV22 is 40% in the north, EM81 5%, and EV65 5%. So in the delta, E1B1B is predominant, and especially in the farmers, nearly all of them are EV22. In those farming villages, you'll find a lot of EV22 people. And of course, in the north, it's more cosmopolitan. We know about the history with the Hyksos. So there's some Near Eastern chromosomes. But as I mentioned before, some of the J, G, and R&B may have come a bit earlier, rather than just being recently from Arabs or anything like that. And
Boy, this is a fine remodeling job. This video right here. Get to letting up.
yeah, the Y chromosome, Egyptians are not invaders. They're indigenous North Africans. Next up, from the 2017 study in Middle Egypt and Lower Egypt, it showed that modern Egyptians have continuity from the New Kingdom. That's what the latest DNA test is saying, okay? So from the New Kingdom, modern Egyptians have continuity. And there's an upcoming study that, from the leak I saw, it was pretty much saying the same thing. That
he said it's an upcoming that's gonna piss niggas off. Y'all be vexed team. Y'all gonna be niggas on and I'm
the Abu Sir ones. So it could go even further. But from non-genetics anthropology, it shows that it goes much further back. But genetically speaking, from what we know, the oldest corpses that we've analyzed are from the New Kingdom. In terms of autosomal DNA, they do have older ones, but they just get like the empty DNA. Just 80% genetic continuity with those samples taken from the north. And genetically as well, all Egyptians have a distinct North African cluster at 65%. So what that means is 65% of their ancestry is unique to them alone. And that's overwhelming. I'll link the paper below. It's from 2009. And then as well, there's another one with the Genographic Project, which had it at almost 70%. So DNA, it's really strong. It just debunks all the nonsense by AfroCentrics saying Egyptians are just descendants of the various invaders. Not true. And if you read the Abu Sir paper, the community in El Malek, Abu Sir El Malek, they didn't have any changes from over 1,300 years since the New Kingdom. So all those other invasions were meaningless. But of course, as it shows, there was some kind of Asiatic migrations, especially in the north. But even in the north, they're still mostly E1, B1A. All right. Regional location and migratory history. So just look where Egypt is. It's literally in the corridor near the Middle East. It's along the Mediterranean. It's in North Africa. You've had, just go and watch this. You've had so many back migrations. So just from the region alone, you can expect the people would not just be black Africans. And there's a massive desert, and you need camels to essentially cross it. So the desert extends all over here. And the Egyptians were not a camel people. They weren't pastoralists. They were farmers. And the Nile Valley was everything to them. They didn't just leave because they couldn't go anywhere else, really. And soldiers, because the farmers, basically the bulk of the population would not go anywhere. Because everything, their entire lifestyle, their religion, it all revolved around that river. Because everything else around was Deshret. Deshret just means the red sands of the desert, and Kemet means the fertile Nile, the soil. That's why they worship it, because it sustained them in everything. And yeah, we were already here, us West Africans and Bantus. We're forest people. We're not desert people. No way are we desert people. In this video, I'll explain the demographic changes, the migrations and all that. Demographic movements, excuse me. Okay. Okay, next up is clothing, the jalabia. So this was worn by the ancient Egyptians, high priests and priestesses.
This is interesting. Cultural continuity, the dress code.
And you can see how the style's still worn today. It's the main clothing. It's the main garment.
Hey,
Here we go. See that? Very long robe. It's quite versatile, especially for the father. See that?
mother.
Very long robe. It's quite versatile, especially for the farmers who are always outside working in the heat. This is a North Cairo farmer. Remember him from the previous video. Just look how dark he is, guys. You Hoteps need to get over it and just stop it already. Leave them alone. Leave Egyptian people alone. Or jalabia wearers. And now the music and dance, it brings us to baladi, belly dance and music. Belly dance used to be much more
Why are these women lighter?
of a thing like in the past, but because of religions, it's decreased quite a bit, but can still be found in a couple of places. And even if you listen to the baladi music, it's very ancient Egyptian with the flutes
I wonder.
and with the dance moves. Belly dancing is really a great Egyptian pastime. The music by the Saidis, it's very, very ancient Egyptian sounding. I'll sample a bit here. Okay. And
What?
I'll sample a bit here.
Man, at the kid. Back to the big. Bam, bam. Get back.
Okay. And go and watch this about the ancient Egyptian belly dance. You know, these dance moves, they're not done anywhere else. This is not how we Niger Congo people dance, or Nilots or Kushites or anything like that. Like, they're very specific and unique to North Africa. So check out this video, and I challenge you to find the same kind of dance moves anywhere.
Oh my God.
You can see the dance here, belly dancing, traditional. And yeah, that's the flutes. They play it. And okay,
Wait a
they
minute.
play it. That's the.
They got.
They play it. And okay. You know, the belly dance really requires a lot of movement of the body. You need to be quite flexible too. Modern Egyptians, the girl is dancing. Here as well, you can see it, the arched back. And with the music, the instrument is called simsimia. Simsimia, like a harp, still being played and used. Just on the belly dancing, I'll link as well some famous people Banat Mazin. It was a group of sisters, and Karia Mazin is a well-known group. They were called Gawazi. They used to be all over Luxor. Anyway, yeah, this is the Simsimia. Still played and done. Same instrument. All right, now what I personally like the most, phenotype and iconography similarities. So
Hey, Egypt here.
I'm sure by now you've seen modern Egyptians. They look just like the ancient Egyptians, if you've seen the previous videos and also some of what I showed here already. But this is just going to drive the point home. Egyptians, they, as I said before, they have their own look. All right. A lot of Afrocentrics are dishonest. They show some like white Arab-looking person and use that to represent everybody, which is not true. Most Egyptians are intermediate tone, brown too. So yeah, this is just some comparisons I've done. This is the original. You'll find a lot of artwork. Afrocentrics actually darken it, which is not what is originally shown. I've seen so many of these. I might have to do an entire video dealing with Afro Shop. That's a nickname coined by a number of Egyptians. They call it Afro Shop.
Yeah, because I see my photos dark. No, not doing that.
Pics to make them appear blacker or darker than they are. They also deal with some of the features of the Egyptians. Like I've seen statues where Afrocentrics make the nose big and all that. But even if they were to do that, it wouldn't matter because Egyptians in general, they have such diverse features. So even their lies will backfire on them. Yeah, but I think this is pretty much self-evident. This is a mix of Upper Egyptians and Lower Egyptian.
Egyptologist 7, I might.
Look how unique they all look, right? I hope by now you've seen what I mean by the Egyptian phenotype that I'm trying to showcase. All right, so we'll just start with some Upper Egyptians. Bunk, the Saidi, they scream. Yep, that's what the ancient Egyptians look like. My profile and my favorite picture of any Saidi. Yeah, this guy is just so cool looking.
Now, he's a very.
Yes, so go and watch this video for more Saidi phenotypes, as this one will just include newer ones. And an Egyptian man on the Nile with his flag, proudly Egyptian, and also proudly ancient Egyptian. Yep, so go and watch it, please. Watch all my videos, in fact. Like, comment, and subscribe too, it helps. Okay. This is what white people look like next to Upper Egyptians, so Afrocentrics, once again, stop with your nonsense.
Hey, guy, right? Send him.
The Egyptian white isn't European white. Like those Egyptians that are lighter skinned, it's not like this guy with the red and all that. All right. Saidi school children and their teacher. Little girl carrying. Yeah, just look at the features, man. Damn. All Egyptians, as I stated before, have a mulatto look. It's obviously not mulatto as in New World mulatto, but you know what I mean. Sub Saharan with Eurasian too. There are no pure Eurasians on our continent. You know, all North Africans carry some SSA admix. And it wasn't because of slavery. The SSA was there in the beginning.
I disagree with him on that point. Okay. I,
There they are, looking just like their ancestors. Ghanaiese girl from the west bank of Luxor.
and now, see, they got a black boy. They got a little couple black kids in the middle. That's that.
All right, so in this picture, I just want to point out that maybe
Okay, thank you, Jesus
1,
Christ.
2, and 3 are legit Nubians, but the rest are
Okay.
Egyptians. You know, you do have a lot of Saidis that are normally dark-skinned, and yes, many Egyptians were white-skinned, light-skinned, not white European, light-skinned. Quite a diverse group, yeah. Okay. Saidi man preparing to give a haircut. Temple researcher. Yeah, it kind of looks like Akhenaten. I think this is Muhammad Ramadan. I could be wrong, but I think it is. He just has a beard here. Okay.
Yeah, that's the God Jamal Nasir's page, Aku.
Looks a boy with a fake bow and arrow. Yeah, getting this dark is actually quite rare. Could be an actual Nubian, but maybe not as well, because there are Saidis that become dark, quite dark. And yeah, of course, it's because of the Sub Saharan Africans. Very Egyptian profile. I think this is all right. Last slide on Saidis. These 2 are tourists. These 4 are the Egyptians. Okay, Lower Egyptians. Lower Egyptians, I'll say for the last time, they're just as Egyptian as the ones in the south. You know, Egypt, even in pre-dynastic, you had a regional clan going north to south of great phenotypic variation. Light skin, though, is more prevalent in the north, but even they, like, if they're in the sun for long enough, as I showed, no problem. They become quite dark.
Kind of a guessing game now, because nobody. Like, Jamal doesn't seem.
Means darker, intense. Just look at her features. Yeah. Some people consider Egyptians to be like Dominicans. I think Dominicans, I think Dominicans and Egyptians might have the same levels of black African admixture. These are all low Egyptians, man. Egyptian phenotype. Perfect. This is Nawal El Sadawi. If you know, she wrote The Woman in Point Zero, which is a well-known book.
Yeah, I need to do it radio.
All right.
Hey, a cool killer already.
Tanned men or dark men and light women. These are school children from Alexandria. I used to think Alexandria will have some more foreign influx than any part, but nope, even many of them just look Egyptian. A bit black looking, right? Quote unquote black. All right. You know, if the girls spend time outside playing sports and all that, they can get dark too. Yeah, and black people aren't the only one who braid hair. In the entire ancient world, they were braiding their hair. It used to be such a common Mediterranean tradition to do that. Everyone braids their hair, basically, all around the world. And look what an Egyptian woman who braids her hair looks like. Ancient Egyptian. Ahmed Zaki, an actor. Adel Imam. Look at his features, right? Uniquely to Egypt. They say it's an Egyptid phenotype. Okay.
I'm a fast to
Egyptian girls. They celebrated their graduation by dressing like this. That's where I got the picture from. I mean, look at this Chad, man. And I think this... All right.
okay. This looks.
Wow, we're nearly reaching the end. I have no idea how long this video has gone for, but we'll just finish it off. All right. So misconceptions and clarifications. This is essentially how the ancient Egyptians saw themselves. They were not as light as their northern neighbors, and that's what we see even today. And they weren't as dark as the Kushites in the south. Again, sorry, I'm just a bit tired. I'm kind of losing my voice, but
So let me just say something real quick. So see the hair? That's just so you see just some curl. His hair.
points in the video so people can go and can jump to whatever part that interests them. Anyway, yeah, that's how they saw themselves. And in terms of the modern showcasing of that, it's a Libyan man, Libyan soldier, Nilotic soldier from South Sudan, IDF, Israeli, to show how the Canaanites were. And this is a northern Egyptian soldier.
I was trying to.
A lot of time outside, so they can get really dark too. But also many Egyptians are naturally melanated, so just being brown skin. So yeah, I think this works pretty well. All right, next up, how did they see themselves to their neighbors in general?
So you remember the video, and I was.
An enemy, Egypt had a lot of enemies, but at times they did also have good relations with their neighbors. It included Asiatics as well, the enemies of Egypt. Here is a Bedouin from Jordan. And just with the skin tone, the black Hebrews are so misleading because they cherry pick like these dark ones, but that doesn't mean anything. If you look at the features and the tone, it means a tanned Bedouin man. That's how they would have looked back then. Here as well, with the Philistine.
Because now they got air conditioning and homes and shit, you know what I mean?
That was it a Canaanite? I'm not sure, but yeah, that doesn't mean they were black or Hebrews were black. Hebrews were not black. Get over it. Just like you need to get over the Egyptians as being the modern Egyptians. That's just a fact. Okay. Libyan, Greek islander, or this could
I
be
accidentally timed out Neptune.
Mitanni,
I don't know how to correct
Canaanite, yeah, yada yada. And yes, both of them, both the blacks and the Near Easterners, were depicted in not flattering ways. King Tut, once again tied up. King Tut's walking stick. A Cushite man tied up. And here again with the skin tones, they used so many different ones for the Libyans, for the Canaanites, etc. It just had different meanings. Sometimes more realistic because they get dark too. But anyway, yeah. Bowing down in worship to the Egyptians. This was like a way to show humiliation on your enemies. Egyptians with Nubian slaves. Nubian slave again. It's really funny how Afrocentrics and Eurocentrics love to cherry pick. But yeah, that's how Egyptians saw themselves and their enemies. King Tut charging at Nubians. You can see how Egyptians are depicted very differently.
And earlier in the video, I showed the DNA of King Tut. King Tut's mummy DNA is K, which is West Asia, to my understanding.
Yeah, they remind me of these Omotic people. They're Nubians, the style of hair. quite brutal, to be honest. Hunting dogs.
It is.
The Egyptian soldiers. The Egyptian soldiers.
Wait a minute. One.
Just like these modern Egyptian boys. See how similar they are. And yep, it wasn't just the stereotypical black people, but Near Easterners too got a taste of the Egyptian hammer. Yeah, Egyptians hammered so many people, man. Ramses charging the Kushites. Same leopard cloth as South Sudanese today. Lion cloth, same leopard cloth as South Sudanese today.
It doesn't fit like again. I just didn't. It was so.
Libyans too. I've heard that this one might actually be not genuine and photoshopped because of over here with the horse. You see how it's depicted, and I've been trying to trace the source, but I haven't been able to find it. But anyway, in this case, we'll say it's genuine. Tanned, dark Egyptian. This is Ramses II, who came from the north. This is an Egyptian, Mido, once again. Him too, subjugating them. And the Libyans are darker here. Man, this Libyan guy kind of has an afro. As you know, all North Africans do have some SSA. Anyway, yeah. Ramses. The Near Easterner and the Kushite once again. Tied up and subjugated. And Egyptians use many different colors. I was trying to get this across to somebody in the comments. Near Easterners weren't always just depicted white, but red, even brown. Where is that? Yeah. Same with the Nubians. They weren't just black all the time. But some of this as well could have been to make the image better. Because if ever black, it wouldn't look visually clear. There wouldn't be a nice contrast. No, Egyptians were very skilled artists. They used a number of conventions. No, Egyptians were very skilled artists. They used a number of conventions. Okay, next up, I just want to clarify some things about the Hyksos. This is Kenahu Hotep II. I notice his tomb is used a lot by AfroCentrics, and it's kind of misleading because if you see the tomb, all the women are depicted that same yellow tone. All the Egyptian women are that same yellow tone as the Hyksos, right? So it's not literal all the time. And even Kenahu Hotep too, this looks like any old Saidi, you know. This is Saidi. See the mustache, dark. Again, this is if we're playing the literal game, because you know Afrocentrics like to play a number of games when it comes to the Egyptian art. Sometimes it's symbolic, sometimes it's literal, etc. Either way, you guys lose because Egyptians look like everything collectively. Okay. So yeah, and it's true. You know, there is some Hyksos and Asiatic later influence in the Delta.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, people.
But then with Mentuhotep coming up soon. I did an entire video on that. Anyway, yeah, Egyptians and Beja. Matches perfectly if I don't say so myself. See the face with the head, right?
Wait a minute.
I'm talking about ethnic Egyptian. I did an entire video on that. Anyway, yeah, Egyptians and Beja. Matches perfectly if I don't say so myself. See the face of the head, right? The afro texture. Very puffed up hair. And yeah, these are the Egyptians who went to Punt. So I want to cover something else to do with the Puntites. Because the Puntites themselves are not Egyptians. The Egyptians are not Puntites. There were two different groups of people. So this is from Hatshepsut's mortuary temple, Queen Ati and King Pharaoh. And I've always said the land of Punt is for sure in the Horn of Africa. I do plan on doing a private video on it. I was supposed to do it sooner, but you know, making videos you get distracted by a lot of things. Anyway, yeah, these are the Puntites. This is an Afari man. And people love using these pictures of Horn of Africans and trying to pass them off as ancient Egyptians. It can't be further from the truth, because they're not. They've never farmed or done agriculture in the Nile Valley, ever. You know, they're mostly pastoral people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they're also a trading people, because the land of Punt was a trading kingdom. They're not Egyptians. Puntites and Egyptians are different people. This is a Somali woman. And even when you look at the houses for the Puntites, the rounded homesteads, it's exactly how they still live today, with the tents, with the desert tents. This is exactly like what was seen in the kingdom of Punt. You know, obviously the ladder, these sticks, this is just, what do they call it? Mythologizing, right? And whatever kind of symbolism they would have incorporated. But obviously the realistic depiction would have been something like this. Coming out of their opening. And yeah, they still keep the traditional hairstyles. And I just want to point out, you know, Kushites in general, they have strong connections with the modern and ancient Egyptians. The land of Punt was revered for the incense they bought, ivory, and a bunch of other goods. It was really respected. So I'm not in any way undermining the history of the Cushitic peoples. You know, they themselves have their own unique traditions, customs, languages, and history that they've done in their region. But they're not actress or singer.
10 more minutes.
Effort to just look at the facial features, ignoring the skin tone. I think it's quite striking, actually. And she actually has kind of reddish auburn.
She got that Caucasian hair.
Basically meaning reddish brownish hair. And a lot of Eurocentrics use this to be like, oh, Egyptian or Caucasoid or Europeans. No, it's not true. Frank Yoko noted many Egyptians have reddish, natural reddish hair. So this is Egyptian journalist. Can't remember her name though. Yeah, the Queen Tia relief. It's original. This isn't fake. You can see it in the tomb. And yeah, just on the hair, these weren't blondes. This the hair changes from mummification. Also, the Egyptians did use henna, I believe, too. So, but yeah.
Wait, who's that? Thuya? What did he say? I think
Yes, these are Queen Tia's parents, Yuya and Thuya.
yeah, I was right. Well, I'm learning. So we all watching that Caucasian.
She wasn't. Okay. Yu and Thuya, their funerary masks. Anyway, next up, King Tut. You know, I've always said Egyptians used many different colors. One person could have been depicted with so many different tones because each had symbolic significance. But not all the time, as we saw with Mentuhotep and Nersbit. They were actually black Nubians, but Tut was not. He was Egyptian. And last time, skin tone games, you know, this Egyptian boy looks exactly like King Tut. I also have many more similarities coming up right now. Here we are. See,
I use this picture in my lecture, bringing, you know, and then
everything. And next up, that's the corpse of King Tutankhamen. There's one guy here in particular. I'll show him right now. Perfect, right? Looks exactly like King Tut. Look at that, his bone structure. Looking upon his ancestor. Okay, again, King Tut's. Wait, no, this is King Tut or Akhenaten? Yeah, I think this is King Tut. I just saw Aten, so it kind of confused me. Yeah, this is King Tut. Yeah, it looks just like this Egyptian boy in the side profile. Yep. And once again, like for like. Great grandfather, grandson. All right, and King Tut's an incomplete bust, and looks just like these boys, man. Next up, Hatshepsut. She was also depicted with many different tones. But feature-wise, yeah, she reminds me of Asma Abdul Yazid. If you see more pictures of her, she's actually quite dark. They call the tone Asma. But yeah, I think it's just much lighter. But yeah, she reminds me of Hatshepsut quite a bit, and this Fellahin lady as well.
What is discreet man in here talking? Oh,
and you can see the features. And yeah, the mummy looks so much like this Egyptian woman I came across, and she's actually looked.
I don't like. I mean,
tilted down.
Yeah,
But if
more to a 25 Chanian, I have a guy next to it.
AfroCentrics will never show you this one, or they mischaracterize it, like they show this as an Afro, but it's not. This is a this is a crown, and it's not nappy hair or the Tutsi hairstyle. This is nonsense. Again, Ramses too. Look alike. You know, Ramses, as I said, was from the north, from the delta. The entire Ramessides were from way up there, so they wouldn't have been black. And again. Okay. Probably what he would have looked like when he was younger, and his queen Nefertari. And then here, when they're older. She also kind of looks like Nefertiti, this Egyptian model. And it's just a typical southern Egyptian phenotype. Big nose, massive nose. So guys, that ends this long presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. We really went through so much, and I think it's proven beyond a doubt that the modern Egyptians are indeed the ancient Egyptians. And
Yeah, he was true. You trying to be nice
black, we should really stop attacking,
and fit information.
claiming the history. It's
They fit. I'm
as and it's just so obvious after everything we've seen and been through. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just going to reach the end of the presentation of where it started, just because I think it'll be a fitting end to see the whole journey that we've been through. And I do apologize if I sounded too boring, but this is unscripted, and it'll be way too hard for me to have written everything down in relation to a specific slide. But I hope I did a good job. I hope you enjoy this video. Like, comment, share it. It's dark hair, dark skin. Okay, just some more of the head hieroglyphics. Who knows, maybe it could be Nama. So, I do apologize if I sounded too boring, but this is unscripted.
Okay. I think I got tired sitting up here. So yeah, I just wanted to replay that presentation, and it clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, shows cultural continuity, things nobody in East or Sub-Saharan Africa is doing. So I just thought, it's one of my favorite videos that I presented a year ago, or at all, really. And I just thought it needed to be revamped. What is y'all talking about? And just share it again, um, just to quiet the crowd. You know how in the NBA, when the other team thinks they doing something, and you hit that 3 pointer and just silence the crowd, and you be like this. This today, this presentation and video was that. That was that 3 pointer that silenced the crowd. What's up, Information Man Show? I hadn't been reading the comments, man. When I was playing it, I was damn near nodding. Not that it was boring, but I've seen it several times before. I made the damn thing, but it was long. You know what I mean? So just sitting here in my dark, I started nodding. But what's up, Information Man Show? Um, so I didn't want to make this no bunch of talking, and I just wanted to kind of put the presentation up, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. What you say? Video. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Video slam dunk. Yeah, that was a very well put together video by Gamal Nasir, I think his name is, and he took his channel down. Well, I don't know how that works, if you put it on private or what. But it's been down and on private for a year, and he disappeared from YouTube. But luckily, I seen that video and was impressed, and I did a presentation a year ago with it, so I still have it. All right, y'all. Enjoy your night. That was that 3 pointer. Hold on. Let me do it. Hold on. Wait a minute. Good night, Rashonda.